My controlling parents don't want me to move away, by user agitated _putting 7259. I'm 35, got fired from my last job right before the holidays with zero explanation. 2 weeks later I got an offer in Denver for $83,000, $23,000 more than my last job, but my parents yell saying, "It's too expensive. $83,000 isn't that much, not enough to live anywhere else but here. It's too cold. What are you going to do with your house? If you sell you'll never afford to buy another home. If you rent it out and the job doesn't work, you won't have a place to go back to. If you rent it out, whoever you rent to will destroy your property. Where are you going to put your stuff if you rent it out?" They want me to turn this opportunity down, which means staying on unemployment until something else comes up or that sh*t runs out, stay put and keep looking for local jobs in Kansas. My dad sent me a job posting for an administrative assistant at a local university for $15,000 less than I was making at my last job. I've been a project manager for 7 years, an admin assistant job photocopying some old dude's documents, arranging his folders, scheduling his meetings, sounds like a huge step back to me. That is a job I would hate and I am overqualified for. He shouted at me I was damn stupid for not applying for it. Meanwhile my sister is turning 38 and has never moved out of my parents' house and doesn't drive herself anywhere. Mom drives her to and from work every day, which they have no problem with. Why aren't they questioning what is she doing with her life? They're so hands-off when it comes to her life choices. What's crazier is their talk is making me second-guess my new gig. I turned down a job in Boston 2 years because of this type of pressure, and looked what happened to me. I took a pay cut and then got fired. Now I'm thinking about doing it again. There's no support for me whatsoever. They say I'm gonna fail and not have anything to come back to. I'm all torn up about their behavior and doubting. Their words have made me feel awful about everything. My parents want me to stay on my medication and control my life after I found that my life is better without it, by user Crazy123. I, 20, am, still live at home with my family. I have been diagnosed with ADHD and autism for about 15 years and have been taking medication for them both. Just recently I ran out and will not be able to get a refill till this coming February. My parents were horrified about that fact and wanted me to call my pharmacist and get just a small amount to keep me medicated till I can get a refill. I didn't do that. They got so mad and basically told me I couldn't function properly without them when in reality I can't function to what they want me to do. My parents have me do practically every chore around the house while having a full-time job, and my 25-year-old brother who also lives at home does no chores and his excuse is that he works night shifts. This last week has been the worst of it. My father gets in constant arguments with me about my desk being a mess when it just has a ton of equipment on it that is being used at all times, and it also has an unopened Coke can. No matter how much I clean and make it to what they want, they still don't think it's good enough. And my mom just lets it happen and tells me to listen to my father. I don't listen to them because they want me on medication that they keep wanting my dosage increased every few years and will soon make me a mindless zombie. They're really bad when my girlfriend is over because she dresses gothic and also happens to work at a processing plant in Springfield, Ohio, and they constantly talk about how the community there are eating dogs and cats and being incredibly racist. I can't wait to leave their hellhole of a house and never look back. My entitled father came looking for a participation trophy for showing up literally 2 times in my life, days after telling me he failed me on an epic level, by user SomeYogurt8748. If anyone has any advice on how to process or heal this or just how to make it hurt less, I am all ears. Also trigger warning for mention of suicide. So my older brother are both his children. We were the products of an affair he and my mother were having on their respective spouses. Can't say we had the best start in life, and it didn't get any better along the way. My father lost everything when I was a baby and she left him before I was 2. My mom is not emotionally mature or healthy in any way, and I'd armchair diagnose a personality disorder or 2, and her replacement dads weren't any better. There was neglect and abuse of both me and my brother. From the time she left him, until I was 16, important later, I met him 2 times in all those years. In my mid-30s I reached out to him wanting to know where I came from, maybe have one goodish parental relationship. That was my first mistake. When I was 16 and my brother just shy of 17, Irish twins, my brother couldn't take one more day of the pain and ended his life. I found him. All these years later my dad tells me at my brother's funeral my mom told him, "I'm sorry, I did this to our son." She basically confessed to abusing him until he couldn't live anymore. My dad did nothing and just left me in his care. I'll admit it took a while for the full ramifications of his story to settle in. That I was 16, a minor, in her custody and should have been protected. While he viewed it as nothing more than the day he saw my mother's mask slip. Several days later we were talking and I still hadn't grasped it. He told me he wanted to give him credit for being there for me. I refused, telling him I used to cry myself to sleep at night wondering why my dad didn't want or love me. From my point of view he wasn't there, not in any way that mattered. Afterwards it all clicked and I realized how deeply he failed me and was even less there for me than I thought. Told him we needed to talk and when he was in a space to hear me to let me know. And recommended he line up support either from his therapist or sponsor. I'm still waiting and it's been a while now. After everything I'm starting to doubt he will even give me the courtesy of a conversation. Let alone any real accountability or remorse. All I keep thinking about is how he wanted a damn hero cookie for showing up 2 times. My mother is mad at me because I don't want to talk to her, by user positive EJ3562. So, it's basically what the title says. I'm 21, I just got a new job and I'm looking to move out in the next 6 months, God willing everything goes to plan. But anyways, my mother has stated in the past that she doesn't want to work and that she wants someone to take care of her. She doesn't care if it's me, my uncle or a boyfriend, she just wants someone to always do everything for her. I'm sick of it, because every time I've gotten a job in the past, she's wanted my money for her things. The main thing that sticks out to me was when I got my first job at 15, after I got paid my first check, she demanded I paid for her cigarettes and when I said I wasn't going to, she started an argument with me in the car and wouldn't stop until I gave her my debit card. I just got a new job as an STNA, which if you don't know is a state-tested nursing assistant. I have a license to do nursing care in my state. I have orientation for this job on Wednesday, but the thing that I'm writing this about is what just happened. She came into my room and asked me if I thought that there was mold and I said that I don't know, I've never given it much thought if there was or not. She then told me, "You don't think about anything," then shut my door and left and called my uncle and told him this. Then she started saying how I only care about my computer, I do Twitch and YouTube on the side to earn extra money, so that's why I'm on my computer. She then started saying the dog we have is annoying and that she wants to put our perfectly healthy dog down just because she doesn't take the dog outside and then blames it on me when the dog poops and pees in the house. She acts like she's always mad at me because I don't want to talk to her, because if I tell her what I'm really thinking about a lot of situations, it'll cause a huge blow-up argument, so I just ignore it and don't say anything. I just don't know if I'm the one in the wrong here. I should also preface that according to my godmother and both of my uncles, she's a diagnosed bipolar and refuses to take her meds. I also think she's a narcissist because she wants everyone and everything to cater to her wants and needs. My mom is going crazy, by user OpenBlueberry8986. My mom is going crazy. When I turned 18 I moved out of my mom's ex-husband's house, that she is currently living in, and I am currently living with my boyfriend at his parents' house while we look for our own home. My mom has been losing her mind trying to control my life at every chance she gets. I was sick for Thanksgiving and she broke into my boyfriend's parents' home while everyone was asleep because she missed me. A week later we were visiting family and once it was time for me to leave she tried to force me into her car and called me multiple slurs, so I decided to ignore her and cut her out of my life. She eventually drove to my boyfriend's parents and knocked on every door for at least 30 minutes trying to get a hold of me. Eventually everyone in the house got annoyed by her and I was forced to talk to her. This turned into her giving me a lecture about how I'm her daughter and she's right and I'm wrong about everything. Recently she has been showing up at my boyfriend's parents uninvited just to hang out, aka insult me and complain about my life choices, and trying to force me to turn my location on so she can track me for some reason. What am I supposed to do? Note, I have never been a bad kid, I have never snuck out or done anything against her rules. She has literally no reason to have any suspicion.